Bulls are known to be very aggressive and easily spooked. Wave a red cloth near one and you'll find it dashing towards you furiously. But this is not the only fascinating fact about the male cattle. Have you heard about these 20 bulls that are born once every 1,000 years? If not, then relax and get to know them. Number 20. Belgian Blue. You might be wondering whether this bull originated in Belgium. You just guessed right. The Belgian Blue hailed from Central and Upper Belgium in the 19th century. The breed was a crossbreed of local cattle breeds with the United Kingdom Shorthorn breed and the Charolais cattle. Professor Hanzet developed this modern Belgian Blue cattle in the 1950s when it was initially used for dairy and beef. However, it wasn't until 1978 that a farmer from central Canada, Nick Tutt, introduced the breed to the United States. The Belgian Blue breed is best known for its extremely lean, hyper-sculpted, and ultra-muscular physique, termed double muscling. Double muscling is a heritable condition that results in an increased number of muscle fibers rather than the enlargement of individual muscle fibers. The only breed of cattle that shares this particular trait is the Piedmontese. These cattle breeds can easily convert feed into lean muscle, causing their meat to contain less fat and increased tenderness. The Belgian Blue breed derived its name from its blue-gray mottled hair color, which can also vary from white to black. They can weigh up to 1,300 kilograms, and yes, this bull breed is born only once every 1,000 years. Number 19. Bodacious. Bodacious was an American bucking bull that was described as the most dangerous bull in the world. This bull dominated the bucking bull sports in the 1990s. Bodacious was the 1994 and 1995 Professional Rodeo Cowboy Association's PRCA Bucking Bull of the Year during his career. This bull caused serious injuries to bull riding icons, Tuff Hedeman and Scott Breeding, an act that led his owner, Sammy Andrews, to retire him early. Bodacious was born in 1988 on the Merrick Ranch in the Arbuckle Mountains of Oklahoma and was distinguished by his unique yellow color. His owner, Bill McCann, auctioned him to a rancher named Jess Keppert, who was looking for a herd and bucking bulls. After the bull impressed him, Keppert later sold him to Phil Sumner, a rodeo stock contractor who sold him to Sammy Andrews. He weighed 540 kilograms at that time. Bodacious was finally brought out of retirement in the spring of 1997. In 1999 and 2017, he was inducted into the Pro Rodeo Hall of Fame and the Bull Riding Hall of Fame, respectively. GQ magazine once described Bodacious as the fiercest competitor of his generation, lethal, a legend, the Michael Jordan of barnyard brutes. However, sadly, at age 12, Bodacious developed a hoof infection, and the medication used to cure the infection damaged his kidneys, resulting in his death on May 16, 2000. Number 18. Chillingham Bull. Remember the woodblock painting of the Chillingham cattle by the famous Thomas Buick? The artist got the inspiration from this particular Chillingham bull. This bull is a cattle breed that has been living among a herd in Chillingham Castle, Northumberland, England for over 800 years. Chillingham bulls are white and have woolly ears, feet, noses, and eyes. Chillingham cattle are categorized under wild cattle and are the only known survivors of the wild herds that once lived in Britain's forests. These bulls, weighing around 300 kilograms, are quite accommodating, as they can share their territories with other herd members, including other bulls. They also participate in sparing matches with their home range partners. They are extremely vocal, especially when they are trying to get the attention of the cows. Although the Chillingham cattle are inbred, they remain fit and healthy, a situation that is not common with other known wild animals worldwide. This makes the breed be regarded as a scientific marvel. Throughout history, inbreeding has been known to result in extinction because of the animal's small gene pool. The Chillingham bulls are completely untamed beasts, thus remaining untouched since the medieval ages. Number 17. The Belted Galloway. The Belted Galloway is a native Scottish beef cattle breed that got its name from the Galloway cattle of the Galloway region of southwestern Scotland. The Galloway cattle breed was developed in the late 1700s and early 1800s for more standardized polled beef. Like Galloway cattle, The belted Galloway is famous for his long hair coat with a broad white belt encircling his body. This earned the breed the tag, belted. His outer coat is coarse, helping him shed the rain, while his soft undercoat provides waterproofing and insulation. The belted Galloway is mainly reared for beef, although it may also be used for vegetation management. The bull weighs between 770 to 1,040 kilograms. Despite weighing this much, the breed is known to have a quiet temperament. However, he has some maternal instinct that tends to make him aggressive when he senses danger nearing calves around it. On some occasions, they have attacked people. This accounts for why some breeders often prefer to use them for rough grazing. Overall, belted Galloway cattle have an attractive coloring, making them a favorite choice among beginner breeders. Number 16. Diamond the Unicorn. You might be wondering how a bull could also be a unicorn, especially if you've heard about the famous tales of unicorns. This is what makes this particular bull a rare breed. Diamond the Unicorn is a single horn bull, just like a unicorn. It was found in Brazil. Brazilian bulls are known to have two outward flat arc horns, but Diamond seems to be a deviation from the norm. This bull has a single horn growing in the center of his head, as can be seen. Not much else is known about the breed or how he came to have just one horn. With his appearance, we can assume that the bull was born naturally with a horn and might not be a hybrid bull. W.F. Dove, a biologist at the University of Maine in the early 20th century, had made several attempts to create a unicorn animal. Although he successfully developed a bull with one horn, the animal only survived for 3 years. Beyond terrestrial animals, some marine animals have also been found to have a single horn. One such animal is a tuna that was spotted near Osprey Reef in the Coral Sea, Queensland coast. Number 15. Chianina. The Chianina, which originated in the west-central part of Italy, is one of the oldest breeds of cattle in the world. This reason is that this cattle breed was found in different environmental conditions. They differ in size and type from region to region. Until recently, the Chianina were used as draft animals. Now, they are being used as beef. The Chianina is famous for being the tallest and heaviest cattle breed. The average Chianina bull can weigh between 1,150 and 1,280 kilograms and stand up to 1.8 m. He has a white coat and slight gray shading around his eyes and on the foreparts. His natural openings, skin, muzzle, switch, and hooves are usually black. The Chianina has a very noticeable characteristic, as he has extensive and well-defined muscling. His shoulders, back, and rear quarters are well-formed. His legs are longer than that of most breeds, and his body is not proportionally as long as some breeds with shorter legs. His face is rather long and straight, contributing to his distinctive appearance. Overall, the Chianina breed has a very high capacity for lean meat production and a high resistance to disease and parasites. Number 14 is the Humphrey Bull. Have you ever seen the world's shortest bull? If you haven't, then here he is. Humphrey is only 67 centimeters tall, a height that is even too small for his kind. His stature falls short of his immediate family. His father and mother stood at 90.1 centimeters and 81.9 centimeters, respectively. The funniest part of his height is how his sibling stands at 83.3 centimeters. Humphrey hails from the United States of America and resides on Lime Creek Farm in Kelowna, Iowa. When the Gardner family bought Humphrey, they thought he was just a calf. After they collected his documentation, it became glaring to them that he was a fully grown bull, or what would you call a 2-year-old bull. Just like you were shocked, the Gardners were left in a greater shock. Humphrey's appearance obviously deceived them. Despite his size, no preferential treatment was offered to him, and he quickly got along with other animals on the farm. Since he is a breeding bull, he was also given a job to do, apart from his usual hanging out and consumption of hay, grain, or grass. We cannot ascertain whether or not one of Humphrey's calves will claim his record one day. We shall see. Number 13, Toy Story Bull. Toy Story isn't some sort of milk magnate or a famed innovator. Rather, it is an ornery 700-pound bull that was named Toy Story, after siring an estimated 500,000 offspring in more than 50 countries, including Europe, Japan, China, Russia, North, Central, and South America. Genex Cooperative Inc. bought and owned him for $4,000 when he was just 6 months old. Jan Hessel Bierma, the editor of Holstein International, a dairy breeding magazine, once referred to Toy Story as a dream bull. This is because it was rare for a bull with such gens and testicular strength to sell 1 million units of semen. Records have it that Toy Story has produced over 2 million units of semen. He thus shattered and surpassed the record set by Sonny Boy, a Dutch bull that sold more than 1.7 million units of semen in the 1990s. Having achieved the feat, Toy Story was celebrated in 2012 with cake. He also got extra hay. Unfortunately, Toy Story died in 2014 at the age of 13, with a lifetime semen production of 2.4 million units. While he was alive, he was no cuddly show animal, though he had an extremely hungry libido that typically produced sperm 9 times a week. Number 12. Highland Bull. This bull breed is most common in Highland, where he got his name. The Highland is a breed of rustic beef cattle that originated in the Scottish Highlands and the Western Islands of Scotland. The cattle breed earned its name from the normal practice of swimming them from the mainland to the islands. The Highland is primarily reared for beef and has been exported to a significant number of countries. He comes from a hardy breed that can withstand harsh conditions, no small thanks to his long, wavy, woolly coats. The Highland Bull's coat color tends to be reddish-brown, though there are a few others with yellow, pale silver, black, and dun colors. Mature Highland Bulls can weigh up to 800 kilograms, while heifers can weigh anything around 500 kilograms. The Highland Bulls are famous for their long horns and shaggy coat. Also, their meat tends to be leaner because their thick, shaggy hair largely insulates them. They have a longer lifespan than most cattle breeds and can live up to 20 years. Number 11. Zebu. Zebu cattle, also known as humped cattle, are a special cattle breed that originated in the Indian subcontinent. They are often characterized by their fatty hump above their shoulders, a large dewlap, and sometimes large drooping ears. They also evolved from 3 cattle breeds, the Gujarat, Nellore, and the Gir. Zebu cattle were taken to Africa at an early date and have been exported to the United States and Brazil. They are usually red or gray in color. Indians consider them sacred and only use them for draft and milk. In contrast, Brazil and other meat-producing countries rear them for their beef because they cope better in subtropical environments than European breeds. Historically, Zebu cattle were crossbred with Brazilian cattle, and they were initially called Indu Uberaba. This was because they were developed in the Uberaba region in the state of Minas Gerais. The Zebu has inspired human art and culture for thousands of years, appearing on coinage, statues, and architecture. One unique characteristic of the Zebu cattle is their hooves, which can bear weight equally on 2 toes. The largest Zebu breed can weigh up to a whopping 1,600 kilograms. Number 10. Schaff Angus Valley. Also known as Sav America 8018. Sav America 8018 is a world record-setting bull. He set a new world record when he was sold for $1.51 million to Herbster Angus Farms of Falls City, Nebraska. This sale price made him the most expensive bull in the world, shattering the previous record of $800,000. A man once shared his experience with the bull. He said as soon as he opened the gate of its pen, the bull walked toward him, sniffing his hand. This bull has a great bone substance, a magnificent body, and incredible sheer power. His mother generated over $5.5 million in progeny sales for Schaff Angus Valley, having remained in the herd for 20 years until her death. It was never thought that she would create a bull that would go down history lane as the most expensive bull ever. A unique breeding piece with a terrific phenotype, the Sav America 8018 is the heaviest 205-day weight bull in the history of the Sav family. The entire USA Angus registered him at 1,107 pounds. The Schaff Angus Valley's calves first arrived at Killian Angus in 2021. We are yet to find out if any of its offspring will live up to their father's name. However, let's see how it goes. But will any other bull breed break the Schaff Angus Valley's world record anytime soon? What do you think? Let us know in the comments. Number 9. Yaks. Yaks, also called domestic yaks or grunting ox, From the grunting noises they make are long-haired domesticated cattle found in the Himalayan region of the Indian subcontinent. They are also found in the Tibetan Plateau, Yunnan, Sichuan, and as far north as Siberia and Mongolia. The interesting fact about this cattle breed is that its lung capacity is 3 times that of other breeds. Yaks are bulky animals with sturdy legs, cloven hooves, and an extremely dense 2-layered coat of long, shaggy fur that hangs below their bellies to keep them warm. They feed on grasses, herbs, mosses, and lichens. Their horns are so firm that they use them for defense and to break through the winter snow in search of food buried beneath. Their tails look more like those of horses. Yaks find it difficult to thrive at lower altitudes, thus becoming vulnerable to heat exhaustion when temperatures rise above 59 degrees Fahrenheit. Bull yaks compete for dominance during the rut, repeatedly charging at each other. They can weigh around 600 and 1,100 pounds. It is believed that modern yaks descended from aurochs, members of the Pleistocene megafauna that flourished during the Holocene era in Asia. The aurochs spread to the north and west during warmer interglacial periods and ultimately became extinct in 1627 due to habitat loss and poachers. Number 8. Red wolf. This is not the canine native to the southeastern United States. Rather, it is the oldest bull to have participated in professional bull riding competitions. He was from Harrington Cattle Company and bucked until the 2000 World Finals. He was 13 years old then. Professional bull riding bulls start to compete when they are 3 years old. The spectacular thing about Red Wolf is that he bucked at a very high level, and more than 100 times at all levels. Only a few bulls managed to get to this level. In 2013, Red Wolf was inducted into the Professional Bull Riders Brand of Honor. He was responsible for the accidental death of bull rider Brent Thurman after stomping off the bull. Red Wolf got its name from his red-white face. He was first owned by Don Kish, under whom he won the 1996 PRCA bucking bull. At the conclusion of the 1996 NFR, Terry Williams bought Red Wolf, who later sold him to the Harrington Cattle Company 3 years later for $200,000. Red Wolf retired at age 12 in 2000 and died on December 29, 2006, at the age of 18 years. Number 7. Indian bison. The gaur, also known as the Indian bison, is regarded as one of the largest wild cattle species native to South and Southeast India. It has a strong and massive build and a convex ridge on the forehead. Its ears are large with a prominent ridge along its back. The adult male Indian bison is dark brown but changes to black as it gets older. The Indian bison has short, fine, glossy hair and narrow-pointed hooves. The typical habitat of the Indian bison consists of large forest tracts, hilly terrain with abundant water, and a huge presence of forage, such as shrubs and trees. The Indian bison is so enormous that it has only a few natural predators, except for tigers, crocodiles, and humans. Depending on the region where they are, Indian bisons can be daywalkers or nocturnal. Adult males are solitary and come into contact with females mostly during the breeding season. The practice in the bull kingdom was to brawl for domination during breeding seasons, and whichever becomes dominant among the bulls gets the cow of his choice. Mostly, the biggest bull usually wins. Indian bisons feed on a variety of plants with a preference for leaf blades, stems, seeds, and grasses. Number 6 is the fettered bull. Fettered is officially the heaviest bull in the world. Typically, bulls weigh between 1,700 and 1,800 pounds and can weigh up to 2,000 pounds when they are fully grown. However, some special breeds weigh a lot more, and one of them is the fetard. Weighing 4,299 pounds and about 5 feet 11 inches in height, fetards belong to the Rouge des Prés breed of cattle that originated in the northwestern part of France before spreading to other countries such as America, Canada, the UK, New Zealand, and France. When Fetard was 5.5 years old, he debuted at the 2016 Paris International Agriculture Show. He was earlier known as the Maine Anjou breed. Although there are claims that some bulls were heavier than 1,950 kilograms, there were no official records of their weight. Also, none of the animals ever stepped on a weighing scale at a show or by any legitimate institution, making Fettered the heaviest known bull. Number 5. Texas Longhorn. The Texas Longhorn is an American beef cattle breed characterized by its long horns, spanning more than 8 feet from tip to tip. These cattle lived for hundreds of years on the rangelands and are reputable for having a higher tolerance to heat and drought than most breeds in Europe. Texas Longhorn coats can be a mix of colors, most of which have some shade of light red. It is genetically close to Iberian cattle breeds, including the de Lidia and Retinta of Spain. The Texas Longhorn was traditionally reared for beef and occasionally used for steer riding. It is considered part of the cultural heritage of Texas in the 21st century. The Texas Longhorn was brought to America by Spanish conquistadors from the time of the second voyage of Christopher Columbus until about 1512. It can survive on poor vegetation and marginal pastures and has high resistance to diseases. The Texas Longhorn breed almost got lost to extinction, thanks to the enthusiasts from the United States Forest Service, who gave it some attention and ensured its survival. Number 4. English Longhorn. The English Longhorn is not related to the American or Texas Longhorn in any way. Rather, it is a British beef cattle breed distinguished by its long, curving horns. Originally, it was a slow, heavy draft animal used for plowing. Its milk yield was not high, though it was rich in fat. From the 18th century, the English Longhorn was used for cheese making, particularly in Cheshire. In the 21st century, it was reared for beef principally. It also found uses in vegetation management in nature parks. The male English Longhorn averages 150 centimeters in height and 1,000 kilograms in weight. Number 3. Simmental. Simmental is a cattle breed whose history dates back to the Middle Ages. It was recorded that Simmental cattle were the result of a cross between large German cattle and smaller breeds that are indigenous to Switzerland. The Simmental cattle derived their name from the area from where they were originally bred, and that's the Simi Valley. The Simmental breed has spread all over the world. Their color varies from gold to red-white. They can either be horned or polled and have heavy dewlap or loose skin. The Simmental bull breed also has a large frame with good muscling. It measures between 150 and 160 centimeters in length and weighs about 1,300 kilograms on average. All over the world, Simmentals are bred for their high beef yields. They utilize their overall size, weight, and heavy muscling to produce well-fleshed, solid red meat. In crossbreeding, the Simmental bulls have proved very successful. They produced improved milk yield, resulting in their calves' strong development in suckler herds. Number 2. Lurch. Lurch was an African Watusi bull that was named an international celebrity by Guinness. Also known as the Cattle of Kings, this bull holds the Guinness World Record for the largest circumference of horns of any animal in the world. His inclusion in the records drew visitors from around the globe. His horns measured 37.5 inches in circumference. Lurch was born on October 11, 1995, at a Watusi ranch in Missouri, and was adopted when he was 5 weeks old. When he was 2 years old, his horns suddenly stopped developing. However, at age 3, his horn picked up growth again, with its circumference later becoming the largest in the world. His measurements were submitted to Guinness when he was 7 years old. It wasn't too long after his official certification by Guinness that he passed on. At that time, his humongous horns measured 38+ inches in circumference, with about 8 feet tip to tip, and weighed more than 100 pounds each. Isn't it amazing? Number 1. Nelore Bull. The Nelore Bull originated from Ongole cattle, which were originally brought to Brazil from India. It is distinctive for its large hump over the top of the shoulder and neck. The Nelore is also notable for having the shortest ears among the Bos indicus cattle family. This cattle breed has long legs that allow them to walk in the water and adapt to all climates except extremely cold ones. Interestingly, more than 80% of the beef cattle in Brazil are either purebred or hybrid Nelore. This makes the Nelore variety the majority breed in Brazil. In the last decades, bulls of the Nelore breed have been exported to other countries, including the United States and Venezuela. The vast majority of Neloris that were created today originated from lineages that got into Brazil from India in the 1950s and 1960s. Also, the Nelore cows calve easily due to their greater frame, wide pelvic opening, and larger birth canal. These bulls are just so fascinating, right? Let us know which one you find most intriguing in the comments.